Can you even fathom it? One morning you wake up to find McDonald's gone from the street corner, Burger King shuttered in eerie silence with no one the wiser. Once icons of convenience and a full belly for just a few bucks, these fast food giants are now spiraling downward at breakneck speed. It's not because the food's gone bad, it's because people don't need them anymore. Inflation's strangling wallets. Health concerns are sounding alarms. Nostalgia is being edged out by the cold indifference of a new era. In this video, we're not just chronicling a collapse, we're sounding a warning. If even the things you thought would last forever are fading away, what can you truly count on? The list of 10 fast food chains crying out for survival that follows is stark proof of an America transforming before our eyes. Number 1. McDonald's. There's a time when people said, where there's a McDonald's, there's America. For countless Americans, the image of a steaming hamburger, a crispy box of fries, and an ice-cold Coke wasn't just food. It was a slice of memory. It was the first meal after a grueling night shift, a weekend treat for the kids, or a pit stop for the whole family after a long road trip. But now something strange is happening. McDonald's, once a shining symbol of American prosperity, is starting to feel unfamiliar. Is McDonald's really crumbling? The numbers don't lie. In Q1 2025, McDonald's posted its steepest domestic revenue drop in 5 years. Most striking, this decline hit hardest in middle-income neighborhoods, the very heartland of those hot, affordable burgers. Now tables sit empty, and the lunchtime lines of yesteryear are nowhere to be seen. Why? Because a simple combo meal burger fries drink can now cost $13, even $14, for many living on fixed pensions of just over $1,600 a month. That's no longer a quick bite, it's a survival calculation. Let's break it down. If you spend $14 at McDonald's 3 times a week, that's over $160 a month. Add in gas, medications, electricity, fresh groceries, and medical bills, and that burger stops feeling hearty and starts weighing like an invisible burden on your budget. With inflation showing no signs of cooling, you can't eat a hamburger on nostalgia alone. People are forced to choose a rushed meal or a few days of peace with heart medication and antibacterial sanitary pads. Most pick the latter. It's not just about money. Older folks are increasingly wary of food quality. Many who once ate to fill their bellies now eat to stay healthy. Greasy, sugary, saturated, fat-laden meals don't align with concerns about heart disease, high blood pressure, or diabetes. Those deep-fried burgers, they're now a luxury for your health, not your wallet. What's more, many feel McDonald's isn't for them anymore. Gone are the days of cheap morning coffee and chats with fellow retirees. Gone are the senior discounts, the soft music, the quiet corners. Today's McDonald's caters to a younger crowd. Faster, louder, stranger. Some even feel betrayed as McDonald's becomes a darling of politicians they no longer trust. Once a familiar haven, it's now a divisive symbol, no longer for all Americans. Though still a titan in the industry, McDonald's faces something unprecedented, a quiet but persistent turning away from the very generation that built its empire. Number 2, Subway. Once hailed as the beacon of healthy fast food, Subway was the darling of the 2000s. Everyone believed choosing Subway was a smarter alternative to greasy, artery-clogging meals. Fresh, fast, fit, that slogan convinced millions of Americans to rethink their habits. Those long sandwiches stuffed with veggies and deli meats became synonymous with office lunches, highway pit stops, or light meals for seniors looking to watch their waistlines and blood pressure. But here's the reality today. Subway is spiraling into decline with over 600 stores shuttered in 2024, and that number could climb in 2025. Plummeting revenue, a fading brand, and most critically, people are walking away. For many, Subway was a step up from McDonald's or Burger King. It offered peace of mind, less fat, more greens, no deep fryers. But that same generation now feels out of place, stepping into a modern Subway. The store vibe has shifted and the menu is cluttered with flashy marketing jargon. Which bread? What meat? Which sauce? What veggies? Toasted. How ordering a single sandwich can leave seniors exhausted by the barrage of choices. Worse, the prices aren't friendly anymore. A sub and a drink, once a steal at $5, now run $9 to $13 depending on the area. Many older customers feel let down, watching a once simple, straightforward meal morph into an overpriced luxury. Instead of savoring a hearty, affordable sandwich like in the old days, they're shelling out more for marketing fluff and service fees, only to get a skimpier sub in return. If you were in their shoes, would you stick around, I'm guessing? Not the deeper issue, though, is a shift in lifestyle. Today's younger crowd craves grab-and-go convenience, flocking to trendy new brands with slick apps and pre-packaged meals inspired by Korean, Japanese, or Mediterranean cuisines. Subway, with its dated aesthetic and stores that feel stuck in 2005, can't compete in a sea of stylish alternatives. For many seniors, Subway now feels like an old friend still there, but lost in the clamor of a shouting crowd. It's not that people don't want to eat healthy anymore, they just don't want Subway. Number 3, Burger King. Do you remember how bustling Burger King used to be? Not the chaotic, elbow-to-elbow kind of crowded. It was a warm, communal kind of busy, where people lined up patiently, no complaints, because everyone knew a piping hot Whopper was moments away. Solo diners, groups of friends, takeout orders, everyone had their reason to swing by. Sometimes just the faint, smoky aroma of grilled beef wafting through the air was enough to draw you in. Yet today, as you pass by that familiar street, all you see is dusty glass windows, a crooked sign, and patches of sunlight spilling across a worn tile floor inside. No more kids sporting paper crowns, no more crinkling of paper bags, no more soft greetings from the cashier. No one said goodbye. But somehow Burger King feels gone. Some say they failed to innovate and got left behind. Others point to a menu that doesn't vibe with the younger crowd. Both are true. Sure, but why does it feel so hollow? It's not hunger, it's the ache of losing something deeply familiar. Back in the day, Burger King was the spot you'd pull into during a long drive. A shelter from the rain, a place to wait for someone, or simply somewhere to sit alone. The food was familiar, that taste everyone knew it. But what lingers isn't the burger itself, it's the feeling. The feeling of being welcomed. Of being served, of finding a fleeting moment of peace in the middle of a grueling day. Now things have changed. They've rolled out self-service kiosks, cleared out tables and chairs, tweaked the menu, jacked up the prices, and with that, the people changed too. Regulars stopped coming. Newcomers don't bother stopping. Revenues tanking in hundreds of locations from Ohio to Pennsylvania to Texas have shuttered. Then one morning you drive by the old Burger King. For a moment you linger longer than usual, because that place, it was once a piece of your life. And now, it's just an old, cold, empty building standing in silent solitude. Number 4, Applebees. Some restaurants you don't visit because you're hungry, you go because they're familiar. Because you made plans. Because there's a reason to gather and just be together. Applebee's used to be that place. Not the fastest, not the cheapest, but it had those big wooden tables, deep brown leather booths, and soft golden lighting that felt like a sunset. It was where every Friday night you'd order the BBQ ribs, someone else got the fettuccine, and the kids waited eagerly for dessert with that tiny scoop of vanilla ice cream. Sometimes no one said much, but being there together, that was enough. In recent years, Applebee's locations have been quietly closing. No fanfare, no scandal. Just one day you plan to stop by only to find locked doors, a dismantled sign, and an empty interior. You drive off in silence as if nothing happened. They say eating habits are shifting. Young people crave something fresh, something quick. Families have less time to sit down together. Food is ordered online, eaten in cars, or consumed alone in bedrooms. The dinners that were once rituals are now just fuel. Stops. Fast, efficient, solitary Applebee's with its warm ambiance and shareable dishes. Doesn't fit this new world. The brand tried to adapt, putting menus on apps, rolling out happy hour deals, even merging spaces with IHOP to cut costs. But what they couldn't recreate was the feeling. Do you remember that corner table by the window where you and your spouse sat still clutching a coupon clipped from the newspaper? The lemonade with a real lemon slice. The faint hum of country music in the background. Those tiny details you thought were insignificant. Turns out they were the soul of the place. Now no one's waiting to take your order. The server who knew your name and how you liked your steak medium. Gone the neatly folded paper napkins, the cheerful, "Y'all want dessert?" vanished. No one ever called Applebee's a fancy restaurant, but everyone had at least one memory there. Now those are gone. And the scariest part isn't that a restaurant disappeared, it's that the things we thought would last forever are quietly slipping away. Number 5. Dennys, 3 in the morning. The streets are ghostly quiet. Traffic lights flicker yellow. Only one place still glows. A soft, hazy white light spilling through fogged-up glass. Dennys inside, there's still people. An elderly couple silent sharing a stack of pancakes and a black coffee. A long-haul trucker jacket dusted from the road, slouched in a booth waiting for his order. And someone alone, cradling a cold coffee mug staring blankly out the window. No one's in a rush. No one minds the others, yet they all share the same space. A warm pause in an America racing too fast outside. Dennys was never flashy, no glitzy signs, no gourmet dishes, but it had one rare quality. It was always open for birthday celebrations, for bad days, for quick bites after late-night errands or a grueling shift, for sleepless nights when you just needed a place with lights, a server, and no questions asked. 24/7 diners like Dennys were the unsung gears keeping the great American machine humming. Not everyone saw their value. In 2025, Dennys shuttered over 150 locations, no fanfare, no fuss. Just one night the open. 24-hour sign went dark. A friend once told me he met his wife at a Dennys, both young, grabbing a late dinner after a concert. Every year they'd return to the same booth, order the same meal. This year they went back. The place had new owners. No golden sign, no thick plastic menus, no server with that familiar, "Good to see y'all again." Ever notice how places like that don't seem special until they're gone? A corner booth, a quiet midnight coffee, a stranger's nod as you walk in, seemingly random but somehow part of your story. Now those lights are fading in a country growing ever busier. Sometimes you only realize the value of a place's presence when it's no longer there. Number 6. Wendys. Some names used to carry a quiet kind of respect. Wendys was one of them, never flashy or loud, but for a time it was hailed as America's most honest burger chain. Fresh, never frozen beef. Friendly service, that familiar red awning, and the iconic Wendy with her pigtails gazing down from the sign. Almost like she was giving you a gentle smile every time you walked in. Then somewhere after 2022, they hit the gas. New strategies, rapid expansion, a push into smaller states, less competitive markets, big marketing campaigns, a revamped menu, hundreds of new locations sprouted in just 2 years, as if Wendy's was gearing up to take on McDonald's head-to-head. But sometimes when you try to grow too fast, you forget to look down. Some of these new Wendys stores opened far from city centers, inconvenient to reach low-foot traffic. The buildings are shiny, the signs bright, but inside, empty. A young employee stands behind the counter, scrolling on their phone. No one walks in. No orders called out. No trays clattering on tables. Just an eerie stillness. Have you driven past one? A pristine new building sitting alone in a deserted parking lot? Did you stop? Or like so many others, did you keep going because I'm used to eating somewhere else? Wendys isn't struggling because their burgers are bad. It's because they overreached opening stores where they weren't needed. Operating costs soared. Profits tanked. Part of it's inflation, part of it's shifting tastes. Consumers aren't gravitating toward neutral options like Wendys anymore. They want faster or flashier. Wendys, despite its decency, doesn't stand out enough. In 2025, over 140 Wendys locations are slated to close. Some of those are stores barely a year old, places that never had a chance to build a following already packing up. And then it hits you. When was the last time you went to Wendys? Maybe that rainy day you swung by after a grocery run. Or that trip back to your hometown where Wendys was the only option. Not mind-blowing, but reliable. Soon that option might be gone, and the pang. You feel it's not about the food. It's about losing something steady, something dependable that could vanish without a trace. Quietly, as if it was never there. Number 7, KFC. Some aromas hit you and the memories come flooding back. That crispy golden crust, fragrant with pepper garlic powder, and that secret blend of spices guarded for decades. They call it the smell of KFC, and they're not wrong. It's unmistakable. You might not recall the details of an ordinary dinner, but you can still taste that first bite of piping hot fried chicken from your youth. You remember the thrill of getting a full combo fries biscuit soda, like it was the fancy meal of its time. KFC held a unique place. Not as frenetic as McDonald's, not as sterile as Burger King. It had gravitas. It was the spot for special occasions, birthdays, small celebrations, or just that day when your paycheck hit the bank. But somewhere along the way, KFC's dining rooms started emptying out. Not because the food got worse, but because something didn't fit anymore. No one says it out loud, they just stopped coming. Today, they pick a different chicken spot. Tomorrow, it's Japanese. The next day, they go healthy. And slowly, that place they once quietly cherished fades from memory. KFC tried to adapt. They rolled out boneless chicken sandwiches, even plant-based nuggets. But here's the thing, a brand built on tradition can't just slap on a new logo and expect to win back trust. That vegan chicken, no matter how perfectly seasoned, can't recreate the sensation of grease dripping down your chin, or the lingering kick of pepper in your throat. What people miss is exactly what they're now told to avoid. No one dares indulge much anymore. Deeters. People with high blood pressure. Folks recovering from illness. Or just those who don't have the guts to load up on fat like they did back in the day. It's not that they don't want it. They don't dare. They can't. In Q1 of 2025, dozens of KFC locations across southern states shut their doors. Not for lack of customers entirely, but because operating costs far outstripped profits. The chain slashed staff, trimmed menus. The more KFC clung to its roots, the further it slipped behind the times. And then it dawns on you, when was the last time you ate at KFC? Maybe that evening you grabbed something on the way home from a late school run, or when a relative craved a change of pace. You can't quite recall. Number 8, Boston Market. Not everyone has the time to cook a proper dinner. Some days you drag yourself home so exhausted that all you want is someone to hand you a warm plate of food, steaming rice, rotisserie chicken, mashed potatoes, and green beans. Just enough not greasy, not fried, not heavy. Comforting, wholesome, like someone cooked it for you with a touch of care. Boston Market was born from that dream. They never called themselves fast food. They didn't chase trendy menus. They took the slow road, serving home-style meals in partitioned plastic trays, vibrant with color and flavor. No need to linger, but enough to make you feel like you were eating a real meal. You might still picture that big rotisserie oven in the store, chickens slowly turning behind the glass. The soft, golden glow, the chalkboard listing the day's specials. The way the staff scooped your beans onto the plate, not rushed, not sloppy. Deliberate like they were serving themselves. Boston Market wasn't cheap, but it didn't need to be, because what they sold wasn't just food. It was the feeling of being cared for, even if only for one meal. But then the trays started seeing fewer customers. Younger folks don't know the brand. To them, the colors aren't vibrant enough. The food looks too old-fashioned. Busy professionals opt for quicker grabs. Newer spots pop up, peddling healthy meals in sleek plastic cups, complete with QR codes and apps that tally your protein and calories. Boston Market slid downhill quietly. No scandals, no boycotts, just forgotten. If someone saw a Boston Market close, they wouldn't bat an eye. In 2024, the chain faced lawsuits over unpaid wages, with dozens of locations filing for bankruptcy and pulling out of major states. Kitchens that once hummed with warmth now sit cold, sealed shut. No lengthy news coverage, no trending hashtags. One day you open your fridge spot, a pre-packaged meal from some other brand, and it hits you. Boston Market had that braised beef that was so good. The veggies were just tender enough, and somehow when you ate it, your stomach warmed and your heart felt a little lighter too. Not everyone craves a home-style meal, but those who felt it, they don't forget. Number 9. Krispy Kreme. That white paper box with its soft red logo. The handle slightly creased the bottom, faintly slick with oil. Remember the first time you brought one home. Everyone gathered around the table like it was something precious. Each little donut perfectly round, gleaming under the light. Some classic, some draped in chocolate, some bursting with cream. But the simplest one, just glazed with sugar, always went first. No knife, no spoon. Just pick it up. Hold it to your lips. Take a bite. The sweetness melts instantly. Light as air, like a burst of joy for no reason at all. Back then, no one asked how much sugar's in this. No one counted calories. No one hesitated. A donut was a reward, an apology, a small gift. Sometimes just a way to say, today everything's gonna be all right. But now that feeling it's out of place. The box is still there. The logo hasn't changed, but the magic, it's gone. You stop by. Krispy Kreme. Stand before the glass case of donuts and don't reach for one. You study them and they look the same as ever, yet somehow they're not. It's not the donuts that changed, it's you. Now every bite comes with a calculation. Blood sugar, cholesterol, that sweetness. Once a friend now whispers warnings of things to avoid. Even kids today aren't all that interested. They're into bubble tea, frozen desserts, stuff you order on apps with picture-perfect filters. Krispy Kreme. It's just old. The company tried partnering with McDonald's, slipping donuts into breakfast menus. Sounded clever at first. But months later, the plan stalled. People didn't buy as much as expected. Maybe mornings are too rushed now. Maybe that donut no longer feels like a wholesome way to start the day. In some towns, Krispy Kreme stores have closed. Former employees post quiet farewells online. This place used to be packed. Now, everyone's gone somewhere else. Sweetness used to make people happy. Now it makes them regret. And maybe the deepest sadness isn't about the donut itself. It's the moment you realize some things, no matter how much you want to love them again, You just can't. Number 10. Red Lobster. Some meals feel special just by sitting down at the table. Red Lobster was that kind of place. Not a spot you'd swing by on a whim when hunger struck. It was a destination, an occasion, a moment where you braced yourself to splurge a little because it wasn't cheap. But in return, the experience was worth every penny, stepping through the doors, catching the faint aroma of garlic butter, hearing the clink of cutlery on porcelain plates, seeing neatly folded linens, and beholding a golden steaming lobster platter set before you. Someone at the table would break into a smile, no words needed. Do you remember your first time ordering the ultimate feast? A tray overflowing with shrimp crab and scallops paired with those iconic cheesy biscuits. Dipping into melted butter, taking that first bite. It was like the ocean itself danced on your tongue, but time dulls even the richest flavors, even Red Lobster. The chain didn't fade because the food turned bad. It faded because people stopped craving it. In an age where seafood has gone mainstream, when frozen shrimp, canned clams, and pre-picked crab meat can be tossed together in minutes at home, the idea of waiting in an elegant dining room served by crisp-shirted staff delivering each course like it's a fine restaurant feels. Outdated, Red Lobster fought to hang on. They rolled out promotions, launched all-you-can-eat shrimp buffets, and hyped eat as much as you want, but excess can exhaust. Customers didn't come to savor, they came to get their money's worth. Instead of reviving its air of sophistication, the move cheapened. Red Lobster's image making it feel lesser than itself. Then in May 2024, the chain filed for bankruptcy. Dozens of locations shuttered. No more clatter of trays and plates, no more servers with a warm "Sir, your lobster is coming right up." Restaurants that once glowed late into the night now sit dark curtains, drawn red signs peeling under the sun and wind. You thought you'd bring your grandkids there one day. Tell them about the time you ate lobster at table 14, the one by the window overlooking the parking lot. But now, what's left to tell when that place is just an empty, cold, locked-up shell? A seafood dinner used to feel luxurious. Now it's another line item on a growing list of losses. And it's not just the food people mourn, it's the feeling of being anticipated, being served, being made to feel worthy of an evening that tasted not just of salt, but of memory. Every brand on this list was more than just a place to grab a bite. They were pieces of our memories. Familiar meeting spots. Trusted go-tos. Now they're quietly vanishing or struggling to survive in a world that no longer cherishes the slow, the warm, or the familiar. When was the last time you stepped into one of these places? Is there a dish that was once your favorite but now lives only in memory? Drop a comment and share your story. Chances are someone out there has a moment just like yours. This video isn't about fueling division in America or cheering the downfall of any brand. All information is presented to explore, analyze, and spark discussion about current events, emotions, and social trends. We respect the U.S. Constitution and all federal regulations. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell, so you never miss our next story, where we dive into the things mainstream media often overlooks.